So one common theme of the last 2 days of all the sessions is daily, continuous, rigorous practice. It doesn't need to be rigorous, but everyday practice is what is important. All the speakers have echoed it. And then today we've seen enough medical reasons for how meditation impacts your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, your heart, your cells, and now DNA. So there are enough medical reasons out there. And I know Budha CEO Quantum Foundation, right from Chandra sir, and all the teachers talk a lot about the scientific basis for meditation, how meditation impacts our body, how meditation impacts our mind. So it's not new for us, but we can now talk about, first things, it gives us more conviction to continue our practice. It's not a question of belief, but it also allows us to tell these things to some more people. Right? This is what, for example, Dr. H.K. Chopra's research, Dr. Mohit Gupta's research, now Dr. Rima Deoda's research. A lot of those out there, and yesterday we heard Dr. Sarah Lazar. So there are a lot of things out there. So there is the medical or the biological reason for meditation is very straightforward. Right? We heard a lot about it. So now I want to kind of switch the gear a bit. So now, Dr. Aditya, so we heard enough biological reasons. Now, what are the couple of, can you give me, I know you've been in the Ananda Sangha in the field, working with a lot of people. So what are the two spiritual reasons? What are the two reasons that you would give someone needs to do meditation for evolving themselves, for their soul level growth, if I can say that?
That's a beautiful question. Well, two reasons. One, I would say meditation brings joy. It brings a certain lightness, happiness. Certainly it brings so many health benefits. But if you ask anybody who has a regular practice of meditation, it's not because, as you said, it's rigorous and they've been told to do it. It's because they enjoy doing it. Meditation in the spiritual terms brings prana, life force, in the spine, in our heart, in the chakras, ultimately at the spiritual eye. The second reason I would say is, and actually joy is, you might say, the definition of Satchitananda, quite universally agreed as one of the definitions of God, ever new joy. So the technique might be the same every day, but the results are ever new joy. The second, which is one of my favorites, is it helps us overcome the ego. What is the ego? Ego is a sense of separation. It's part of the disease called ignorance, as some speakers have emphasized, that I am separate from others and I am separate ultimately from God. And my teacher, Swami Kriyanandaji, the disciple of Paramhans Yogananda, he used to often say that Yoganandaji taught this, the ego resides at what is called the medulla oblongata. It's part of the brainstem. And he said, if you see many a times when people want to draw attention to themselves, he would give the example of rock stars on the stage, or even when somebody's too proud, he said they get tight over here and they look down their nose. There's a certain self-importance, whereas universally the sign of humility and acceptance and love and embracement is, you might say, to bring that energy, that life force, that prana or the kundalini energy from the medulla to the spiritual eye, which is why so many times a blessing is given to us over here by the guru, by one another. So I would say joy, freedom, because when you think of yourself limited, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of, as one of our speakers was saying, I have to do it, the responsibility. Now we have to do it, but God does a lot of our work. Gurus do a lot of our work once we are on the spiritual path. We don't do it all alone. So for me, meditation brings these two awarenesses also.
Wonderful, thank you. So joy and freedom, right? And then in fact that reminds me, sometimes when I used to go to Brahmarshi Patriji and talk about something very miraculous happens, something magical happens, we all go excited and tell Patriji that this happened, this suddenly magically happened. He just used to smile, right? And then it used to happen a couple of times, 3 times, and later you realize, right? So life is supposed to be magical. Life is supposed to be miraculous always. Like Dr. Aditya said, you allow life to happen, it happens magically. Only thing is we stop the process, stop the flow of magic in each and everyone's life. So thank you, Doctor.